Hello everyone and welcome to Flickering Myth TV. My name is EJ Marino and today we are diving into the brand new heartbreaking movie from Netflix, Pieces of a Woman. Whew, watching this movie was like a marathon at times. It was a grueling experience. It's a very well-made movie with incredible acting and actually something to say. I felt this movie actually had conversation starters. You know, this and another movie I saw this week were really big movies that actually had so much to offer in terms of what it wants to say. That doesn't mean Pieces of a Woman is an easy watch. Vanessa Kirby throws herself into this role. This is a heartbreaking performance with so much laid on the table. This is when we talk about actors bearing their soul. This is that type of film. Vanessa Kirby just gives it like her all. She is an actress. I only know her from like weird action movies she's been in, really. Like, she's been in other things, but I know her from like Mission Impossible, the Hobbs and Shaw movie. I've never seen her in a movie like this, and oh my goodness, she is just that damn good. It's amazing. The power that she has, the emotion that she gives me, it's everything. Like, I cannot believe a movie like this really hit me so hard. I had to pause it multiple times to catch my breath. Just the intro alone is wild. If you've heard anything about this movie, you know it has a crazy opening act. But it's not just the opening act. The tension, the drama, the anxiety, the paranoia, the sadness, it's there throughout the film. This is one of the heaviest movies I have seen in quite some time. Martha, played by Vanessa Kirby, and Sean, played by Shia LaBeouf, are a couple expecting their first child. They're on the verge of it. They're doing a home birth. This is crazy, but their midwife is not answering the phone. Then they have to find a new midwife. She comes over, she starts to deliver the baby, and then something happens, and that changes that couple forever. The path that they go on, the stuff that happens with the midwife after, there is so much that happens in this movie, and it is just one dramatic hit after another. Vanessa Kirby's character Martha has to go through these next like whole years span that we go through, and she changes as a woman. The way she acts, the way she interacts with people, her stuff with her mother, played by Burstyn, who is, oh my goodness, she is a revelation in this film as well. I loved all three of these main actors, and they did all something very well. We'll talk about the acting in another moment, but this is a character, Martha, who's dealing with her husband, who is grieving as well, her mother, who is grieving in her own way, the legal system, the society, the way people look at her when she goes back to work, and there's those like, oh, she's here. You know, those moments that you just feel like everyone is talking about you. There's so much that happens to women when in childbirth, being a mother, when happens if you ever lose that baby, just things like that. And this really talks about that in an honest way. This is one of the few movies this year that I thought actually had something to say. It felt modern and it felt current. This was real stuff that's happening right now. It's just so amazing. Like, I know that show Law and Order likes to do the rip from the headlines. This feels ripped from the headlines as well. This feels like something that happened all too often, probably sadly, that it needed to be talked about. This is a film that I think needed to be seen. Do I recommend this for everyone? No, this is not an easy viewing, but this is a movie that I think is so powerful and has so much to offer. The acting in this film, though, is what's top-notch. This is old school drama. This is actors just bearing their souls. Burstyn, who's playing the mother character in this, is amazing. I've loved her for quite some time. She is just a powerful actress. She doesn't always play the most likable characters, but she still gives them layers, and not just like a villainous role or like an antagonist. She's there to be a fleshed out character. Shia LaBeouf as well. Oh my goodness. The men in these stories, the men in these kind of movies usually get put to the back, and I think that's fair. This is called Pieces of a Woman. It's about the women, but there's still this strong backbone. He is like he grounds this movie in so many ways. He may not be the most likable character as well. Sometimes I shake him. I know the characters like him. I know the addicts. I know the people struggling with that. So I understood him and I related to that, and Shia sold that so well. But this is truly about Vanessa Kirby playing Martha. There's just moments that are just so quiet that she has, that is so reflective. There's just so many moments that you just feel so much pain in just her eyes. This is that type of acting. When you go to acting school, you watch something like this. It's subtle, it's powerful, it's needed, it's everything. This is one of my favorite female acting performances in all of 2020. There's a lot of great women this year. I mean, some people, I loved Elizabeth Moss in multiple movies. I loved so many other actresses. Hell, even in a fun movie like Freaky, Catherine Newton slayed it. But Vanessa Kirby is like, she's just creeping to the top of my list of just like an actress who I truly never thought this was part of her. I never thought she had this in her, but she does it so well. She sells every moment. This is the type of movie that I think is going to make her a bona fide like mega star like this. She has the box office, but she never had the emotional films for me. This is that film. This is Vanessa Kirby's coming out party as like, hey, I'm an awards actress now, respect me. Now, the only thing that was a little hit or miss with me is the directing and the pacing. Sometimes the pacing felt a little bit slow. Sometimes the directing was a little like, oh, okay, there's choices being made. Some of them I really liked. There was moments of close-ups of necks or just hands fidgeting or eyes. Those are the really powerful moments where the directing and the cinematography go hand in hand. And then sometimes I'm like, well, that's a really nice nature shot. What was the point of that? There's just times, and that goes with the pacing as well, I'm like, we could have quickened this up a little bit. There's just moments that I think the first 30 minutes are the most well edited. It's kind of done in one take. There's a lot in that opening that I kind of wanted to translate to the rest of the movie, but overall I think this is it's a good film from the directing and the editing and the technical aspects, but this is truly one of those movies that without the acting, I cannot see this working. A lot of people, when movies are nominated, like the actors are nominated for awards, but not this like particular film, people are like, well, how does that happen? This is a movie that I think the acting is better than the whole film, and I think that's what we should focus on, but that's not saying the movie is bad. I think this is still a very good movie that you need to watch. I just think the script and the acting is what elevates it, where the directing and the editing kind of just brings it down just ever so slightly. Talking about Pieces of a Woman was hard because this movie was very emotional, very hard-hitting, very emotional, but that is it for my review. What do you guys think of this movie? What do you guys think of this review? Let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Alright guys, let's talk about Pieces of a Woman down below.